Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine. This is another tribute video. I've just received the news that Mick Underwood, the drummer from the band Gillan, has sadly passed away. Mick hadn't been well for a couple of years. His wife Sue had announced on his Facebook page, I think it was 2023, so I think it was about then, I can't remember. As I say, I've just heard the news that he was kind of moving away from Facebook because he'd been diagnosed with dementia. So this has moved really quickly. And I just want to say, before I say anything else, that this video is dedicated to his wife Sue and family and fans all around the world. And I just want to kind of draw attention to Mick as a musician, as a drummer in Gillan, but also the fact that these musicians who were from literally that year, 1945, that was the generation that has created so much of the music that we have grown up with and have enjoyed so much. And many of these guys, you might only know them from one specific band, but in the background, in the engine room of rock music as it grew up, these people appear in so many different places. And we kind of, as we look back now through the lens of time, we look at the bigger names and the bigger bands, but these musicians have also been there all the way through at different places, and you'd be surprised how many places they pop up. I'm just going to talk about some of the albums that Mick played on that mean the most to me. And also, when I say this, I'm not expecting anybody who's watching this, some of you will know so much more than me about Mick Underwood, and some of you won't quite know perhaps who he is or what he did. So I'm trying to make sure that the words I use bring everybody in, so nobody feels left out. And I'll kind of also point out some things that I think you should perhaps go and stream today or this week. I mean, why just not make it one day or an evening, to celebrate Mick's music and the musicians he played with and the music they created together. I became aware of Mick Underwood actually, and I said he's from the Gillan band, that's how most people will know him from, but it was the Ian Gillan band that introduced me to one of his previous bands. And it was actually the Clear Air Turbulence tour. And the reason for that is that the support band was a band called Straps on the Harvest label. And here's Mick at the bottom there. Great band, absolutely super band, and they never really broke through. But check them out. They're not easy to find on CD, actually. I hope someone is watching this or think maybe we should do that, Cherry Red. But Straps are a really, really great band. And from there, because all of these bands are interconnected, Mick went over to be in the Gillan band once it stopped being the jazz rock stuff. But Mick's journey with Ian Gillan goes all the way back to episode 6. In fact, I think it was Mick who actually suggested to Richie Blackmore, when they were looking for a new singer, that maybe you should check out the singer in our band. Perhaps not the best of moves for episode 6, because they basically collapsed soon after that, but a great move for Deep Purple. So again, episode 6 are a wonderful 60s vocal band that are well worth checking out. One of the best albums that Mick played on, and everyone should hear this, and I should really do a separate thing on it really, is Quatermass. I don't know that on vinyl, but it has one of the most striking Hypnosis covers ever. This is a Hammond rock driven prog band from 1970. It's also, again, all this Deep Purple family connections, is the track Black Sheep of the Family, which Rainbow covered, which is one of the reasons why Richie left Deep Purple, is on this album. It's absolutely superb. And there's this version, which is the DVD version, also has a 5.1 mix as well. What some of you may not know is that Mick Underwood also was almost part of a super group with Paul Rodgers. When Paul Rodgers left Free temporarily, In 1971 was that when Free Live came out. Mick Underwood joined up with Paul Rodgers to form a band called Peace, and on this album, The Free Story, the track Lady features Mick on the drums. But it really is the Gillan band itself. Doesn't matter which one, whether it's with Bernie Torme or Janet Gears. It's albums like Mr. Universe, which is where such a great band. If you think about the three major offshoots from Deep Purple, Gillan, Whitesnake and Rainbow, there's something very unique about the Gillan band, especially when you look at the characters within that band itself. John McCoy, larger-than-life character, the very classically kind of behaved Colin Towns, great composer, Ian Gillan himself, of course, Bernie Torme, Hendrix-style punk guitarist, and at the back was Mick Underwood. There's some great tracks, and if I was trying to think which ones that really show off his skills as a drummer, I am going to obviously pick things like Secret of the Dance off Miss Universe, Unchain Your Brain off this one, probably one of the finest moments, which is Glory Road, and also there's some great tracks on the For Gillan Fans Only album, which is on here as well, because there's some solo stuff from Mick on here, but there's some wonderful stuff on this really. And of course Future Shock, if I find, bear with me, there's a great picture of the band here all together. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but they really were a very, very great looking band, the Gillan band were. And there's some wonderful stuff on this as well, and in the later stuff, Double Trouble and the live stuff, and of course Magic, which is also a great album. So for me personally, I'm going to focus on Glory Road, Quatermass. I think I'll play that track by Peace as well, because I haven't played that for a while. But yeah, I think Glory Road and Quatermass will be where I dip into that and play the music, look forwards, embrace what we know, what we've listened to over the years. And this particular one means a lot to me because my mum also had dementia, so I can understand how. Well, I suppose what I'm trying to say is it is so different to when we think about these musicians we've grown up with, to where it was, say, in the 70s or the 80s, where you couldn't really connect to anybody unless you went through the fan club. And what I'm getting to is that Mick Underwood is on my friends list on Facebook. I haven't spoke to him for a long time since when he ran his own kind of tribute band to Gillan. And so I remember seeing the message from his wife Sue saying that he was pulling away from Facebook because she had to announce the news that he was obviously very poorly with dementia type illness. And to feel that, as I look back, as hearing this news today, that I was connected to him. I was able to talk to someone who I'd gone to see at the Birmingham Odeon many times. I think probably Gillan was the band that I probably saw the most at the Birmingham Odeon. I never missed them. They were just always entertaining, and a great, as I say, a great musician, a great drummer. And as I said at the very start of this video, someone who is like a thread that goes through all these names, Free, connected, the Richie Blackmore connection, episode 6, Quatermass, Straps, managed to have a career through different bands, always going from one thing to the other. I mean, it was such a different world back then, wasn't it? Anyway, thank you for watching, and as I say, play some Gillan and Quatermass. If you never heard Quatermass before, give that a listen. So thank you for watching, thank you for being here. Stay safe everybody, keep spinning those discs, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon.